Hello, sweet friends. Okay, so I got in the mood today for some spaghetti. Y'all know how much I love spaghetti, love Italian, love pasta. So I didn't want to do a homemade sauce because, it takes hours and hours. I wanted to do just a quick and easy, good spaghetti. So I thought if I make this spaghetti and then I'm going to want to take a picture of it and post it, y'all going to get me. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this little simple, easy spaghetti, y'all. Okay? So what I've done, and all of this stuff I already had, y'all. I'll tell y'all about that in a minute. But here is about a pound of ground beef that I have already cooked up, browned up, got the grease off of it, so now we're ready to go. I had this little bit of red bell pepper left in the fridge from last night, and I had this red onion from where I made the spaghetti salad the other day. I had some of it left, needed to use it, so that's what we're using. You can use any kind of onion or pepper you want, or you can leave this out. But this is just kind of a way to dress it up with stuff that you've got. All right, and now I'm gonna put in some of our garlic, quite a bit, a good heaping teaspoon. All right, but y'all, what I love about this is so inexpensive, and it's just little simple things that you already have, and it almost makes you feel like you're making a free meal. I know it's not free because at some point you bought all the stuff, but like for example, whenever I buy a big pack of ground beef and make something, I may have just a little bit like this left at the end. Well, I'll wrap it up in plastic wrap, put it in a freezer bag, toss it in the freezer. That's enough to make one person something, whether it be spaghetti, taco salad, a little thing of chili, whatever you want to use it for. Well, tonight I had 2 of those in there, 2 little bitty packages. And I thought, well, that's about a pound. That's enough to use and make me some spaghetti. So that, and then I always keep like diced tomatoes. I always keep pasta, tomato paste. And so when I'm at the grocery and I'm shopping and I know that I've used those things up, I'll just grab another can or 2, toss it in the cabinet, and then you have it. And I told y'all a while back, I started using these little packets, and I love them. And they're so much cheaper than a jar of sauce. So what I'm getting at here, y'all, I thought about it before I got on here. This whole meal here, this whole thing of spaghetti that I'm going to make is under $10. I mean, and you can't beat that. I know that there are people out there on disability or Social Security or drawing a retirement or just working week to week, paycheck to paycheck, single mamas. I mean, I've done it, I know. And I like to save any time that I can, especially when it comes to groceries. They're so expensive. So I love little meals like this that I can throw together, and so that's my reason for sharing this with y'all. It's not really an extravagant recipe or anything like that, but it just gives you an idea. Even if you don't make it exactly like I do, you can make it the way you want to, and maybe it'll just inspire you to get in the kitchen and cook. But it's always great to have stuff like this on hand when you can make something and not have to go get anything. So that's where we're at, y'all. I've already boiled my pasta. I have it over here. Y'all know I season it up a little bit. I did a little bit of olive oil, some oregano, parsley, and a little bit of garlic. And I just toss that around, because I don't like my noodles to get all sticky together. I'm just going to let these peppers and onions and garlic saute down for a minute in our ground beef. Then we're going to add our other stuff, our seasoned packet, some liquid, and we're going to let this simmer, and that's going to be dinner, y'all. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, y'all, this is cooked down just a little bit. We're going to let this simmer with all of our other stuff, so we're going to go ahead and add that in. All right, let me tell you first. All right, so the instructions on here say to add the packet with 1 can of tomato paste, a 6 ounce, and then 2 1/4 cup of water. But we're going to change that up a little bit. I'm going to do a can of diced tomatoes. Now this one has the basil, garlic, and oregano, but I just happen to have this. But of course you can use anything you want. Now I'm going to put that in there. I like my tomato or spaghetti sauce to be chunky. Now you may not, so you can, of course, you can leave this part out. But I like it like this. And then I'm going to do some of the tomato paste. Now, I don't know that I'm going to use all of this because I don't have a whole lot of ground beef. But if I don't, I'm going to try freezing this. Last time I used some and I said something about having some left over. A lot of people mentioned that you could freeze it, and I've never tried that. So I may try that if I don't use it all. Okay, let's get that mixed down in there. Let's go ahead and get our water in. And y'all know, instead of using regular water, we're going to use our pasta water. So when you drain your pasta, be sure and get some of this out. So this is right at 2 cups. We're not going to need this much, but it don't hurt to have it. That's 1 cup. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this in so we can mix it all up at the same time. But y'all, it's like we've gotten so used to the jar sauce, like I was telling you before, we tend to forget about this. But actually, myself, ever since I've been making spaghetti, I've used the jar sauce. That's what I was used to doing. But now some of you, now I'm not going to say older, I'm going to say some of you that are wiser than me may have grew up on the little packets, you know. And it may be a different brand, of course. But, you know, I never had that. I just always had the jar sauce. And then once, what got me to trying it was, you know, whenever we made that little box of Kraft spaghetti, and I liked it, and I thought, well, I'm going to try some other kinds, and I love it. It's just a different way to make something that we love. You know, and I know there will be people that will come at me, and it's typically not y'all, it's just people that don't follow and just happen to come across my page. You know, they'll say something ugly or whatever, but y'all, it don't bother me in the slightest. I love a homemade sauce just as good as anybody else, but you don't always have the time, you don't always have the ingredients, and you just don't always want to do that. So it's perfectly fine to make something like this to feed your family, and don't ever feel guilty about it, because as long as they're eating, that's all that matters. I'm going to put, so I put another 1/2 cup. So far we've put 1.5 cups of our pasta water. We did the whole can of the diced tomatoes. That was a 14.5 ounce. And then we did about 3/4 of this. And we may add more, I don't know. I'll taste it here in a minute. But so far it's looking really good, y'all. So we're just going to let this simmer and hang out. And I'll do a taste test here in a minute and see about our seasonings, and that's gonna be it, y'all. Our easy, quick spaghetti. Oh yeah, y'all, so real quick before I forget, if you were one of the ones that gave me the suggestion on freezing this, remind me again in the comments how you did it. Seems like I maybe seen an ice tray or spooning it on a piece of plastic wrap and putting it in a Ziploc bag. I can't really remember. But if you were one of the ones or you do that, let me know again in the comments, please. Because I decided we're not going to use the rest of this. It's good. That's one thing I love about the seasoning packet, and I think I told you this last time whenever I made that casserole. What I like about this is you get all those seasonings and that good flavor, and it's not real saucy, but it still has that great flavor. You know, so I feel like if I add more of that, it's going to, you know, kind of make it a little more saucy, and so I like it like this. But anyway, y'all, it's starting to simmer now. Put a lid on it, and we're just going to let this go for a second, and we're going to put it together. Okay, y'all, so one other thing that I have learned recently, since I have been using these little packets, back in the day when people used these packets, they put a little pat of butter in at the very end and just let that melt over it. So that's what we're doing. We're going to take it back old school, y'all. Okay, just a few more minutes and we'll be ready. Okay, y'all, our butter is melted. Look at this, y'all, and it smells so good. Tell you what, so now we're going to fix this up some. Now I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Now sometimes I go ahead and mix the pasta in with the sauce. Sometimes I serve it separately. It just depends on how much I think is going to be eaten. But tonight I'm going to do it separately. That way, if I have quite a bit left, I can freeze it. And it freezes so much better without the pasta. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna, because this made a lot, y'all. This with a box of pasta would easily feed 4 to 6 people, depending on your portion size, of course. But yeah, easily. So I'll tell you what I like to do whenever I do it separately like this. So I like to put, of course, this is a preference, but y'all can see my pasta here. I have it, like I said, I oiled it, seasoned it up a little bit. Now, you don't have to. I know a lot of people say if you put oil on it, then your sauce doesn't stick, but I don't find that to be an issue for me. But if you do, then, of course, you know, you don't have to do that. I like to mix a little bit in and then put more over the top. Y'all have a certain way you like to do it. All right, let's get some of this pasta or some of this sauce. Ooh, it looks good, y'all. Okay. Of course, y'all know I got to have my Parmesan cheese. Let me get that out. I've got it over here. I have 2 different kinds this time, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just have one. So really, it's just whatever you have. Y'all know I love this. This is one of my favorites. I could eat spaghetti all the time. And that's what I love about having many different ways to make it, because it's one of those things you have a lot, but you change up the way that you do it. Look at this. This looks good. Now, of course, like I said, if you don't like the chunky tomatoes, you can definitely do tomato sauce, just tomato paste. You can do so many different things. Crushed tomatoes, whatever you want to do. But I highly recommend using your pasta water instead of regular water. And y'all, it's kind of late tonight. This is Saturday night. So it may be tomorrow before I post this, because sometimes if I do post things late, a lot of people don't see it, and then they're like, you know, they'll write me a message, where you been? You know, it's like everybody kind of misses it. Y'all know I'm loving it. One of my favorites. I really didn't need this pasta tonight, but I ate that bologna sandwich earlier, but that was like 8 hours ago. So I wasn't hungry around dinner time. And then here, I've been doing laundry, running around. Now here it is late and I'm hungry. That is so good, y'all. Okay, I just wanted to show y'all this real quick. We've made a meal that'll easily feed 4 or 6 people, depending on how much you eat, in 30 minutes for under $10. That's amazing. Okay, y'all, I'm fixing to enjoy this. Y'all know I am. I'm going to try to go for a walk. I'm about wore out, but I'm going to try. Okay, y'all, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.